there we are. We're at a Fonche. I'm looking for the track as it goes up onto this ridge up there. Don't walk this often. It's quite fresh this morning, but quite pleasant for walking as soon as we find the way up the hill. Now to the Barranco, going up onto the top of the ridge, and we'll walk up from there. It's, I'm afraid, a long way in, a loop, and then the same way out, so we'll see that as we go along. As you can see, we're climbing up quite hard at present. But quite pleasant. And here we are, coming up onto the ridge. As you can see, a barranco on that side and a barranco on that side. We're going to walk up between them, most of the time on the left hand side of this barranco, or left side of this ridge, should I say. Anyway, it's now getting warm. These pines around about, look, as though they're quite young and new. Further on they get to normal size mountain pine, but down here look quite different. Well, you can't see much from up here because we've got trees all around, but there are, well, you can actually see that goes down rapidly to Barranco. It's the one I walked in when I walked up the stream bed and got lost, the one I did on my own. I had to climb up a rather large scree slope to get back to the path, and that path must cross this path somewhere up here, don't know where. A nice giant pines out here. They are sparse because we're on very rocky ground, but it is now quite warm. I'm quite warm, so we'll see. Jamie is just about ready. Not a lot to film. Now we've got a normal new pine, but not much of. A large shadow this morning. Shows you where the sun is behind me. I'll switch this off for a while. Climbing up the bedrock slope. You can't see where we've come down from. It's a long way down there, but it levels out for a short while round this next bend. I'm going to stop slipping on the screet. So, as you can see, it's now beginning to flatten out. So, it will be a bit easier for a while. But the view's getting better. And round this side, you see the three peaks there. But on upwards. There we are, that's Fonche out that way. As we come back, I pan back. This is the barranco at the side of it. I don't know how well you can see that. Video it into the sun again, but massively deep. Impossible to get up the sides of that. But it goes on up this way. If I can give you a bit more before I get back onto the main track. See if I can show you what it does. It is getting to the top now. But there we are, out into the sun again. And here again, you can see, well, I don't think you can see the full depth of that because I can't. But then we come into the end of the barranco. It does go on up there a bit afterwards. I've never noticed that before. But as you can see, it is a big barranco. The other side is similar, the barranco on the other side. And I'll get a picture of that in a minute. There's some pretty flowers growing up here. Quite different to a lot of them further down. There were some blue ones near the edge. But I wasn't keen on getting too close to that edge. It's not awfully wonderfully stable. So we're back on the path now. Walking up, we do cross over in a minute and go on to the other side. So I'll come back then. As I said, we would come across this ridge to this side of the ridge and the barranco down that side. As you can see, that is quite a massive thing. It's virtually, well, it's vertical from where 5 meters from where we are, so we don't need to go any further. But again, no way up or down it. When I did the walk the other week and couldn't find my way out, I think I was down at the bottom of this spot here, somewhere down there. And I think there is a track across there. Let me see if I can find it. There, I think that's a track that I had to find to get over the top of that. And then down at the side, oh, you can actually see, or I can see, the waterway down there that I had to find. It's somewhere in there. It's difficult to see, the trees are taking it out of focus, but eventually it gets you back there. Oh, strange. Yep. And we're still going upwards, although it says we're at the top. If you could see that, that's one hump of La Palma, but you can't see the other, it's too low, or behind that tree. But it's rather hazy today, so you can't see the second peak. Oh well, never mind. A couple of weeks ago, we were over on that side. Today we're on this one, as you can see. It's rather a long way down. You don't want to be going down there. It is an extremely deep barranco. And there's the ridge to the caldera up there. We're still climbing. We're supposed to have been at the top 10 minutes ago. Obviously we haven't. We've got this. It goes up now to there. It then crosses over onto the path that we've used before, coming up from Travejo way. The long walk actually joins it. I'll show you when we get there, it's easier.
That's
2.6
and you've got 287.
10% climb.
10%.
Yeah. Here we are at the top of the walk. It does go on up there, but if you continue up there, you finish up in the, well, I think you finish up in the recreation area, way up on the way to...
Villa Floor? No.
No, above Villa Floor. and that, oops, and then across the road up and into the caldera over the ridge. Right, well, I'll show you before I switch this on. We've now got to go down into the bottom there and round and out. It's that's only halfway down, it's a lot steeper below it, so that's where we're going now. Come from up there and down a zigzag path to here, and as you can see it's a rather slope there, and we've got still to go down into the bottom there. Now the start of the vineyards there at Trebeco. There you are, one of the vineyards. But normally from Trebeco we will be walking around that mountain in front of us. Now in the bottom, walking fairly easily. The next turn off is just before the flight of steps further on here. Then we turn off to the right, walk that way. I did tell Jen once as I walked down there, there are 2 fig trees that I gathered figs from. I had to go off the track to do it. Simple things that remind me of Jen. Now on the way back on the loop, this should drop down into the barranco in a minute. Across the bottom of the barranco is all where the 2 fig trees are that I collected figs for Jen from a few years ago now. But as you see, we're now starting to go down into the barranco. It's very different here. Oh, look, we've got a threshing circle. No, I'd not seen that before. An overgrown threshing circle. But then the land around here was fairly flat and good for growing crops until we started with vineyards, of course. But as you can see, fairly easy walking. Well, the first time I came, I nearly missed this because it was fairly obvious that you go up that hill. In actual fact, you don't, you go down this one. So this one now takes us down into the bottom of the barranco. We go across the barranco and, well, the fig trees are in the bottom, or were. The other side is a difficult climb across the face of the slope. But we'll see when we get there. They are the 2 fig trees I used to come down here and collect figs for Jen from. They haven't got, can't see anything on them yet.
No. Look dead at this point.
Yeah, looks quite dead. But we're going up this way. I'm going to climb out now. As I said, this is not the easiest way, but this bit is the easy bit, and the next bit is the more difficult bit. It was always a matter here when I walked, do I go into the bottom, into the barranco, or try and walk across this edge? And I always walk this edge, so that's where I'm going now. Well, they're on the way down. That looks like the bar at Tifonshi, way in the distance. And we're on a fairly rough track. It is hard work on the knees. And we're just going to an area which is even worse. You can still see La Palma hump in the distance there. Can't see much around the other side. Oh well, carry on, go through this gap. Then onto the nasty bit of bedrock we have to climb down. And a pretty grotty path before we get down to the easier stretch down towards the bottom. And we're back to the edge of this giant barranco. It looks as though there is possibly a way to get up there. I'm going to walk that one day. Oh. And Jamie's looking at his this system. I think if you can get past that point there, it might be possible to walk all the way up that barranco and come out at the top and join this path. So, something to try in the future when I'm on my own. You can see from these piles of stone, well they're not piles of stones, it's actually the bedrock sticking through. We're coming to the area where we're walking on bedrock, which is where we're getting to now. It's not been very far below further back, but it now gets rather difficult.
Another track?
Yeah. Now we're on top of the bedrock drop and whoopsie-daisy. As you can see, not bad yet. It's around the next corner. A lot of bikes being up here. They obviously like this for jumping down the rocks and down mountain bikes. But it is a bit slippery for walking. And as I say, we're getting to the state where we get more and more on bedrock now. And in a little while I shall have to put this away because it gets too difficult to video and walk. But I've got a few more meters before I put it away and start climbing. But at least it's down. Unfortunately the knees are taking a hammering now. And there we go. And now, not as bad as I thought it would be. Some pretty little flowers. I don't know if you can see the little pink one there, but there you are. It's a pink one, it's a blue one. They're just beginning to come out. They're quite pretty. And here we are, coming up to the top of the path that takes us back down into the barranco. If we get around this little corner, across here. I can keep this steady. You can see into the barranco down there where we're going. The path runs round, zigzags back and forwards from here down into the bottom. And normally from here you can see the minibus. I've wondered at times that I could have waved to Jem from here. I didn't see it today. There we are, climbing into the bottom. We are back in the barranco we started from, having just come off up there. So now just a matter of finding the go back to the van and try not to break a leg on the stream bed, which is always a pain because your knees are taking a bit of a hammering again. Climbing over rocks. But there we are. A bit better is the path now. The big rocks appear to have gone. But around the next couple of corners there should be the minibus. But can't see that yet, so don't worry about that in a minute. Well, there we are, back to the minibus. Jan would have been playing pop by now. We're 20 minutes over on time. So she would have been, although if we'd have been on our own, I would have been carrying a walkie-talkie, and from the top I would have been able to talk to her for the last 15 minutes, so it wouldn't have been a problem.